The family, DC.
Ain't nobody gon' say nothing about me.
Letter to my daddy.
Gon' say nothing about me. Ain't nobody gon'
How
say
y'all doing out there in New York City? I said it's my first time. Are you here or what?
nothing about me. Ain't nobody gon' say nothing about me.
That's more my language. What's up? Yeah, we riding dirty. Ride dirty.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out to Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.
Yeah, welcome to a brand new installment of Hype in the Streets. I'm your host, Tee Recx. We also have Money Matt in the building, man. What's up with you, man?
What up, Tee Recx? How you doing today, man?
Hey, I can't call it, man. Just happy to be here. We are finally live on the air, man. This is a new season of Hype in the Streets. Definitely salute to the team. I'm so excited, man. We got a lot of things to talk about. And then we also have a special artist from Maverick Global Distribution that's going to be joining us today, too.
Yeah, that's really dope, man. I'm excited to be here as well. Like you said, we've been trying to do this for a couple of weeks. Last week, unfortunately, Hurricane Helene, it stopped what we were able to do last week. But we here now and got a dope show for us, everybody. So looking forward to it, fam.
Yes, and speaking of Hurricane Helene, definitely want to send our gratitude, our hearts and prayers to the victims of that hurricane. It's at least over 200 deaths been reported. Still several people missing, and it's just very unfortunate that this is happening during this time. So what we're going to do? We're going to take a moment of silence, just to honor the people that have perished during this great tragedy that we have here in this country that's still ongoing, still looking for people. So we're going to take about a 10 to 15 second moment of silence, and we're going to do it right now. All right. God bless them, man, for real.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, and I
devastating.
know for you, Tee Recx, you being in Alabama, you were a lot closer to the situation than I am being in Indianapolis. So what was it like for you? We all watched it going towards Florida, but you had a lot of issues with your power and stuff. So give us a little bit of the story of what your experience was for that.
Well, the way it came in through Florida, see, we are like 25 miles outside of Pensacola, so it missed us. So we got a lot of tropical storm stuff as far as like heavy rain and wind. And so we wasn't like in that outer band that we usually get tornadoes and stuff that spawns off of that. So we was able to avoid that. But man, it hit Tampa hard, Tallahassee, and then, throughout Georgia. And then the way it turned, it went up throughout, the outer band was hitting North Carolina with all that flooding rain, and Tennessee, all the way up to the Midwest. I think I almost reached your area too in Indianapolis. I don't know if you got any kind of like unusual weather patterns or whatever, but I know it did go up that far, and it was just terrible, man. Anytime like that happened anywhere, not just here, but anywhere in the world, it's pretty terrible.
Yeah, you're right. Like it got to Tennessee, and then the next day, Indianapolis, we had terrible weather. I had my back porch, the table was thrown across the whole yard when I went outside the next day. So, it's definitely scary right now with the way the weather is going on. Like, they didn't expect that hurricane to really be that big, and then out of nowhere, it intensified. So, yeah, we definitely want to pray for North Carolina. They've been without power. A lot of difficult things going on. So, our thoughts and prayers with them.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But before we bring our guests on, we definitely want to talk about some of the hot topics that's going on in our country, and just what's the hype on the streets, man. We got the vice presidential debate that took place the other day between Vance and Walz. What was your thoughts about it? Did you tune in? Because I'm sure a lot of people in the United States and across the world tuned in, including myself.
Yeah, it was really cool. My wife and me, we tuned into it. We had our son's band concert, and then we rushed home to get there. I loved it. I'm a big supporter of Kamala Harris and the Democrats' platform, and I think Tim Walz, he did a great job of showing what it's like to be the grown-up in the room. Everybody talked about how friendly everything was and how it wasn't a lot of confrontation going on. Well, that's because he was being controlling it. If he would have went sideways at all, it would have went the other way. But I definitely think that it was a good thing. I love that both sides were able to have great conversations. I think that's where we are in America today. We can't always just argue with somebody because we have a difference of opinion. We have to hear both sides and respect it. So I think they did a good job. And then at the end, when Vance wouldn't admit that President Biden won the election, like that was the nail in the coffin to me, because if you're not respecting our votes, like they said, then what are you going to do? But what was your thoughts on that?
I actually enjoyed the debate because it was civil. I was like, why they not let them run for president? let Trump and Harris be vice president, because they was able to conduct themselves like adults. Wasn't doing as much mudslinging that I was thinking was going to happen when I did my TMZ clip the early part of the day. But just to be able to explain, even though at times they both were dodging the questions because they wanted to get their self out to let people know how they felt about certain issues. I thought it was pretty okay. It was a debate, and I like that, where you don't have to be calling people out all the time, or you talk about how good you look doing this and playing golf, or for both parties. So I was okay with it.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. Like, it's great to have that. We've got, about a month away now, and this will be moved on. Finally, we can get back to life as it is. But I'm just hoping that the rhetoric and the emotions that are involved aren't going to pass over after the election. Because there's a lot of people upset right now. Shout out to Simba. He did a really dope freestyle that dropped the day of the vice president debate. He's one of the first artists I know that actually is standing up for either side and, making it a point to endorse someone. And I think that's what we need to do right now, is show where we stand on these issues, because if we all don't stand up and do something, whether you're on one side or the other, you got to make your voice heard, because if not, then nobody's going to know what you thought in the first place, and nothing's going to happen for you. So, I definitely think it's nice that that's there, but I'm ready to move on to the next stuff.
Yes, indeed. But we're going to check out that freestyle, though. You mentioned Simba. Yeah. We actually have that clip. So let's check this out right quick.
Okay, dope.
Financial Stockholm Syndrome, that American dream gone. Choice cuts for the rich while the middle get the bone. Lower class is lucky to even manifest the marrow. Can't keep your eyes on the prize when it's always on the sparrow. See, civil conversations come from speaking to civil people. That man don't have a plan, so his dance is to speak evil. We don't want to see the country burn. We want to see the country learn that love and integrity is what makes the world turn. not spite, not the stripping of rights, not immoral behavior from a so-called savior. They say they want to ban books and censor history to protect children, but they don't want to ban the laws that allow children to get guns to shoot up buildings. They don't want to ban the guns that allow civilians to commit mass killings because they're more concerned with overturning the reproductive rights of women. At this point, I look at America and ask what's needed. It needs care, it needs comfort, it needs feeding. We need peace, we need growth, we need healing. We need women. We need trust, we need change, we need promise. We need someone in that office to be honest. We need examples for our sisters and our daughters. We need Kamala.
Definitely shout out to Simba for that. Personally, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I'm for because I feel hey, if it was left up to me, make the seat vacant for 4 years.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy how hell-bent we get during the election year when we really need to focus on our local community. Actually, let's take it back even further. Focus on our household, then focus on our community, then focus on our neighborhood, and then our city. Because it starts there. We thinking, oh, the Fed's gonna help it. I ain't gonna even get in that conversation right now. But you know, the Feds is not out to take care of us. It's our community leaders. That's what we need to be looking forward to and see who's running on those platforms locally.
Yep, facts.
That's my opinion.
No, you're right. A lot of times people get so caught up in the president election, they forget the Senate, the Congress, even your local offices are the ones that really impact your situation. Like if you got a kid in school, you got to vote for those local offices because they will determine who's, doing the, what's being done in your schools with your kids and stuff like that. So if you're not voting, man, like I said, I definitely suggest, just look into it. There's very stark differences right now. So it's not hard to figure out who to support if you decide to go that route. But I respect you. If it's not something you're into, I definitely respect that.
Yes. And that's the thing. Like, we should be able to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
People in relationships, family fights, marriages break up, friendships end because of two things: politics and religion.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, why we can't just talk, like have dialogue? That's the only way we can move forward. But we're going to go ahead and bring our special guest on. She is a Maverick Global Distribution artist. She is from the state of New York. We're going to welcome Sammie Vendetti to our show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing well. We're talking some of that old politics stuff that's going on right now in our country.
I've been listening.
Yes. Are you a registered voter?
I am, but I also don't know who I'm voting for this year. So.
Yes. Join the club. But thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. So let's talk about you and your music journey. So what made you want to become a music artist?
Actually, I been singing since I've been 10 years old. I was a dancer growing up. My parents put me in dance, so I always did a bunch of different like jazz and ballet and hip hop. So I was always around like a bunch of different music. And I was always a closet singer. I always wrote my own music and did it myself. And I did a competition when I was 11 years old for Belcour's like school. And I ended up singing, and I made on the stage. My mom was making me a video, and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she could sing." So ever since then, I was writing my own music. I did a bunch of like festivals and stuff like that. I would sing like at Riverhead Raceway and sing like the and stuff. So any opportunity, always put in myself.
Okay. Yeah, that's just awesome that you have your mom pushing you to sing and everything. And what do you prefer though? Do you dance as well? Do you do any kind of choreography when you're performing?
I do dance, and I want to kind of incorporate that into my music. So in some of my music videos, I have some dancing scenes and stuff like that to bring back. I haven't danced in a though, like competitively, like how I used to, but I'm hoping to bring that back into my music so that I can do too the things that I love, you know.
Okay. Now, what are some of your music influences? I know when I listened to Misunderstood, I had one name that already just come to my head that you remind me of, but I would just want to know before I even say anything, what are some of your music influences?
I have a bunch. I like to kind of genre because I love like rock and country. My music, me, Billy, artists like vocals that journey and cool music where kind of tells a story and like,
Okay, Matt, you have any questions? I think we're having an audio problem too. Is that something that I'm hearing or
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just
having
hearing
a
things?
with hearing as well. Sammie, nice to meet you. Definitely a big fan of your music. Checked out the Misunderstood song, and then you had another song called Energy that was really dope. Who you mentioned that you started dancing early on and stuff like. Who were some of your earlier mentors, like people that you looked up to, or people that helped you figure out how to get into the music industry?
People that get into the music industry. I was one of the producers that I worked with when I first started recording. Matt Echo. He works at Studio 631 here on the island. He's one of the best producers out there.
Okay.
He always was pushing me to get out there and really put my music out there and put myself out there and to really believe in myself, like believe in my sound and find that voice and you know share it with the world.
Now you mentioned your voice. You have a very powerful voice. You're like small, petite person, but when you hear you sing, it's real, firm, really good, big, and like he said, reminds me of like Amy Winehouse or something like that. What is people's reaction to you when you're on stage and you start performing and you start singing? And they hear this amazing voice coming from such a small person. What's the response you get?
It's actually very funny. They actually don't believe that it's my voice sometimes. So I actually love doing like little acapellas and stuff for people sometimes just to like prove that like, this is me. Like this is not just like, there's no audio tune or nothing. Like these are really like my vocals. And it's actually really like amazing actually to see like people's responses because I am just a tiny person and I love being able to like show that like raw vocals,
Now,
Now I seen you also had a chance to audition for online America Got Talent situation. So how did that situation come about, and what was the response you got when you made your submission?
That actually wasn't my first submission. So my first time that I ever auditioned for something was American Idol, and I was 14 was the first time that I auditioned, and that was in I think Orlando, Florida. I was actually on vacation and they were doing auditions there and my mom signed me up and we went there and I auditioned there and I made it to the second round in the American Idol and then they had put you in like a room with a bunch of people and they separate you and I ended up not making it to that next round but I kept on singing and then a couple years later on my 16th birthday I wanted to audition for The Voice, so I had went to the Jarvis Center in the city and auditioned there. I don't have very nice things to say about The Voice producers and stuff like that, but I will say it was a great experience and you are around so many great singers and so many different raw artists and they have so many different styles and stuff like that, so the competition is always out there, but for the America's Got Talent that was actually kind of recently. I did that because I had got into a really bad car accident actually in the beginning of this year. It was snowing here in New York and somebody had ran a red light and she had crashed into me and we went into a ditch. She was doing like 60 miles an hour and I was just going through it. I was like really having a hard time and I was like really down. So I decided to just do the America's Got Talent thing because I originally had planned to go to California to audition live. So I still ended up doing it virtually. And they said very nice things about my audition, but I didn't make it to the next round. But I still wanted to put my music out there. So that's what really kind of gave me the push to really get started doing a lot more gigs. I'm DJ Energetic, which has been great to me and helping me along the way with all the music business and like industry, you know.
I love the voice. I can't believe you said that. I watched that show religiously.
I love the voice. I love the aspect of the voice. But the actual producers there, they say that your sound is like blind and, you know, like they're actually listening to you. But one of the producers was actually in front of my cousins on a line, getting some coffee, and he was saying that he wasn't going to say yes to anybody else because he was over the day and he didn't care about the sound. He didn't care if anybody was good. And I think that's wrong. I think regardless of the day that you're having or what you're going through, like you should be giving everybody the same opportunity. And that just made me look at it a different way. So me personally, I wouldn't audition for there again, but it's a learning experience. You know?
Yes. And I was going to tell you the artist I think you sound like. You have that Katy Perry type vibe, especially for Misunderstood. I listened to that, I'm like, okay. So that's the artist that came to mind when I first heard that song.
I actually somebody also told me recently, Billie Eilish. It was they said like vibratos and stuff. It sounds like that.
Okay, but you know what? We have the track here. We're gonna go ahead and check this out. We got Sammie in the building. We're gonna check out Misunderstood, and we'll be right back with more Hype in the Streets.
Just a little girl trying to find herself or against the world. Alone to die, facing all her fears. No turning back, only up from here. The struggle past, so much lost around, so much to gain. Up your heart, suffering, misunderstood, misunderstood. Yeah, she only knew what the future held. Said she's wondering, do they like me now? Misunderstood, misunderstood. Just a lonely girl, the quiet one. I shut them out, they hate me now. It's the only way I go without taking it out on the people that I wouldn't live a day without. Misunderstood, 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 misunderstood. Do you hear me now? They hear me now. Misunderstood, 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 misunderstood. Do you hate me now? They hate me now. Misunderstood, misunderstood. Do you like me now? They like me now. Misunderstood, misunderstood. Do you hear me now? They hear me now. Misunderstood, misunderstood. Do you like me now? They like me now. Misunderstood, 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 misunderstood.
Yes, welcome back to the Hype in the Streets. Definitely enjoyed that track. Also, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Vion, for featuring the Maverick artist rollouts of Maverick Global Distribution artist, Sammie Vendetti. Thank you for that track. I do hear Billie Eilish in there as well. Just the flow of the song. I also felt Katy Perry. How did you feel about the completion of that song once you got it out? What was your confidence level like once you got it rolling?
Once I got it out and I actually got it rolling, it was like I was super proud. It was a big accomplishment for me because I didn't know if I would ever release my music, and seeing like everybody's reaction and everybody streaming it, it made me super excited to actually shoot the music video and do the visuals and stuff because I wanted to be able to show everybody my vision and really where I was coming from because I feel like that's like my kind of everybody. I always really felt misunderstood.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Now, Sammie, you're part of Maverick Global Distribution. How did you link up with them, and how's your experience been so far being a part of the team?
Actually, I met up with them through DJ Energetic. Chill is actually really good friends with Energetic, and we ended up talking, and I loved what we ended up doing with Maverick Distribution. So I'm actually super excited to be a part of that team, and what they do for their artists is great with their rollouts and everything. Because not many distributions will help you do that and really give you the platform that you need. So I've been super grateful for the people and like all the experiences they have really given me. So.
And so I noticed on your social media, you kind of took a break a little bit. What was the reason for taking that break? And then the song Energy is a really dope song as well. Are you going to be releasing that through Maverick Global, or where can people go to hear that if they haven't heard it yet?
Yes. So actually, I was taking a break because we've been working a lot. We've been doing a lot of interviews and stuff like that, and working on the music video. So now I'm excited to push that out. It's actually going to be coming out on 10/10. So keep an eye out for that. And also Energy is going to be coming out on 11/11, and we're going to be doing a visual for that as well. So I'm super excited for everybody to see that, and that will all be through Maverick Distribution.
You said you're excited to get to release your music because you didn't know if it would ever happen for you. What's it like now, looking at it now? Now you have a dope single and you've got a video coming with another single and another video. You got a plan now. You got a rollout ready for you. How does it feel as an artist to know you have a game plan for your future now?
It's actually super exciting and actually a thrill because I really didn't think I would really put in that work and invest in myself, because don't let anybody tell you like it's a lot, but trust me, it is worth it. And every second it just is more thrilling because you learn, not only are you learning about the business part of it, but you're learning about yourself in that part of it too, because you're what works for you, what feels good, and being able to share that vision with everybody in the world is pretty cool, honestly.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And with you teaming up with Maverick, that's a great partnership there. Chill's definitely gonna make sure he cross all the T's and dot all the I's. So yes, you definitely aligned with a great distribution team.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you do a lot of charity work too. I want to highlight that for you because I think that's really dope. You give back to MS, you give back to St. Jude. What's the motivation behind that, and how great does it feel when you get to give back to those charities and see the reactions of those kids or people?
So I actually been giving back for a really long time. I'm actually in my day job, I'm a nurse. So giving and taking care of people is really like my go-to. On Christmas time, I love to adopt a couple children. I will from orphanages, and I will buy them their Christmas list, whatever the presents that they want, and give back to them. And I've been doing that for maybe 7 to 8 years now, ever since I've had like a little extra money, and you just take like $50 and you just give back to the kids. And honestly, it's something that's so special, and I love doing it. We also do, I work with Holiday Productions on my company, and they do a lot of like giving back things for people that have cancer and things like that. So I love working with the kids. So I'll run the prize centers, and I love giving them presents, and we play games all the time. So it's a lot of fun. And for work, I will do MS, brain, concussion walk, cancer walks, breast cancer walks. So there's a bunch of things that we want to keep and let everybody know that we support them and we love them and we're on the same team and we're all fighting for a cure and fighting for, everybody to put a smile on their face, you know?
Yes, you're doing great things, and you're a great human being just for caring so much. And it's not just a job; it's just who you are. Just being a human being, and with the music. Wish you much success, and I know you're gonna go a lot of places. You keep that work ethic that you got now working in the medical field. I know you're gonna do well in the music industry too.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much for having me on here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I seen you. You had a show recently at the big industry. Any upcoming shows or upcoming performances that people can circle on the calendar to make sure they come support you at?
Yes, so I actually my big plan, once I have a good date for when Energy's visual is going to be released, I want to do a single release party, and I also want to have a couple gigs that are going to be coming out, and I'll be posting that on my social media, so you can follow me on Sammie Vendetti on all platforms, and that's SAMMIE Vendetti VENDETTI on all platforms, and I'll be posting all updates and any gigs and concerts that'll be coming up, because I also play with my band too. So I'm super excited for you guys to see everything that we have.
Oh,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give out?
Shout out to everybody listening. Also shout out to DJ Energetic. Danny, you've been great. Really appreciate it. Echo, Slim, my family, my little nephews, they're my biggest supporters, always streaming my songs on Spotify. Everybody, thank you so much.
Well, and then before we get out of here, anything else you want to make sure we cover or mention before we're done?
I just want to make sure everybody's checking out the music video for Misunderstood that comes out on 10/10. People look out for that.
Definitely. As soon as it drops, we'll get it with the Hype magazine on Instagram. I'll get with Chill. I'm sure Tee Recx will get with Chill. We'll make a big deal out of it. You're our first guest on Hype in the Streets, so congratulations. You're part of the the show, the rollout. You're gonna see clips everywhere, but we appreciate you for your time tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You have a blessed night.
You too. Bye.
Yes, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to continue on with Hype in the Streets, talking about everything that's going on in our culture. So we'll be right back.
Perfect transition into our next guest. One time for Old School Ice Gray, representing for Chicago. One half of Abstract Mind State. I know I discovered you from the Scam Summit. I wasn't there, but I saw you take some pictures of people that I messed with. So I was like, let me see what's good. And so I like what you are diving into, fam, and because we've been having the conversation now for quite some time around adult contemporary hip hop. So thank you, one, for joining the call. You know what I mean? And
yes.
What was your take on the LL album? Did you take a listen to it?
Oh yeah, the LL album is crazy. Like I listened to it. I listened to it like 4 times the first time I listened to it, and I mean, totally impressed, man. The dude is sharp as he ever was. I mean, lyrically, he playing with a lot of new flows, and I personally love the Q-Tip production. The Queens Connect that they did. I watched several interviews where L said that he had a dream that Fife came to him in a dream, and that's what inspired him to holler at Tip. But they both from Queens, so and Tip as a producer, most. Some know, most don't, but Tip always was a super dope producer. So I just think it's crazy. The album is crazy. Like, it's very consistent. I love it top to bottom.
All right. So with that being said, talk a little bit about
Yeah, that's our segue to SBR Talk Series, powered by the Hype magazine. That's Money Matt's next interview with Ice Gree. What can we expect from that interview?
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for doing that. Shout out to Sincere as always. She gets all the dope interviews for me. Really, really dope conversation, man. As you've seen, DigiWack, shout out to Raymond T, the family. They had him on to talk about the adult contemporary hip hop, and he's trying to push a movement where we have awards for adult contemporary hip hop, and it's not just about supporting like older acts, but it's people that make boom bap, make rap with lyrics and bars and everything like that. So that was a really cool conversation. But what is really dope about him, if you don't know, he's the person that helped Ye. He was behind Kanye West getting to New York, making his connections. He goes into that on our interview. We talk about the Good Music, being the first A&R for Good Music, and what it was like to be in the sessions during Wyoming and all those type of things. And just a really great conversation about 20 years in the game and still giving back and trying to uplift, you know, his community. He's from Chicago, so if you got time or if you can catch it on Monday, 10 p.m. every Monday on the Hype Magazine's Instagram page. We do SBR Talk Series. Every week we bring a new guest. We specialize on people behind the scenes. And then we get some major stars as well. Like I said, shout out to Just Jay and Sincere for all the help with the show.
Yes, definitely a shout out to them. Hey, we got a dope team, man. I really appreciate everybody that's working behind the scenes. As far as the dialogue about the adult contemporary hip hop, that's long overdue. That's very long. That should have been a subgenre from the jump, because you know that our artists have to get older, and it's not. Everybody would say it's a young man's game.
Nope.
It is per se, but it really is not. Because everybody have their own lane. And so all these other genres, you have older musicians that's still in the genre. But with hip hop, we do have to separate it, because everything that you listen to is not particularly hip hop.
Yeah.
Even though it is categorized as that. And for, you know, our platforms and everybody else that's pushing this is long overdue. Because you still have great MCs that's in their 60s, man, that can still drop bars. And like you say, if you like the boom bap, if you like conscious rap,
what I like about the conversation he had with it, you know, shout out to Razkaz, you know, that's my family. And we talked about how you could play Razkaz's classics or his new songs and then immediately go to Coach Contra, his son group. I mean, it's a great way to combine this. And when they talk about it's a young man's game, well, hip hop's 50 years old now, so it's not a young man's game anymore. And if you look at some of the best artists we have today, Killer Mike, Griselda, we can name them. They are a little bit up in age. You just don't know it, because for a lot of times they tell you their age is younger than it is. But yeah, there's no age on talent. And I will put up a Razkaz song against some of the stuff we hear on the radio today, and it's still better. Or once again, shout out to Maverick Global Distribution, Cujo, Goody Mob, living legend, part of our team. He's dropping better music than these new kids. So I'm excited to see this opportunity. We told him when we get there, we're trying to get Grammys to pick it up. We're trying to get all the award shows to pick it up. So yeah, it's really dope. And I agree, like there's no age on talent and there's no age on hip hop really. Like we're going to keep getting older and people are going to keep making dope music. So don't put an age on it and limit to what you're getting because they make really great music.
Yes, and we need that grown folks music. We can't relive our 20s when we are beyond that. Not giving my age away a couple of decades. So we want to listen to something that we can relate to, not bashing the younger generation because everybody goes through cycles. But I would say this: we need to clean our culture up. We really do need to clean it up. Like a lot of the stuff that we talk about, we shouldn't be talking about. And that's my opinion, because we got so much going on. We got so much education that we can spread just by just telling people your story, how you came out the struggle, and you're not just bathing in it and you want to glorify it, but how you came out and you help people. That people want to have a feel good story, even though it might have been tragic, but we want to see that triumph, how you was able to overcome that. And that's the kind of music like we would like to hear, not just always party. Trust me, I love to party, and I'm sure you have a good time with partying as well. But the music should not always reflect that. Sometimes you want to chill out. Sometimes you just want to just hang out. It don't always have to be fast paced. I want to go take this and do this to somebody, because we all don't feel that way. But it get pushed on our culture too much, and sometimes we're gonna have to resist, turn the radio off, and push back, or don't purchase it, don't stream it. You know?
Yeah, it's a thought process out there. It's called negativity hurts. So if you constantly are surrounding yourself with negative energy, if you're constantly surrounding yourself with the rah-rahs and the guns and the violence like that, then it's going to bring that into your lifestyle. So sometimes you have to separate yourself from the negativity. Not saying the new music's bad or nothing like that, but if it's pushing a message that's not feeling good to you or not uplifting you, you may just have to turn it off, because then you'll figure out why you're stuck where you're at and why you can't progress in life, because you're surrounding yourself with those bad thought process. I want to highlight some for you. You highlighted SBR Talk Series, so we got to talk about TMZ, man. You are the king of getting viral. You're the king of getting these major platforms. So this past week we had the vice president's debate, but early in that day you were on TMZ to talk about one of the candidates running. So what was your experience on TMZ, and what was the conversation?
Well, there's a movie that's coming out that Donald Trump camp is actually pushing back on, because they say it's not true. But there's a new movie that's coming out on 10/11 called The Apprentice. And so they wanted to run a movie ad before the vice presidential debate. They wanted to do it during the presidential debate, but ABC, CBS, they all declined. So they tried to push it again for the vice presidential debate, but they didn't want to do that. Watching the clip, it's controversial. Yeah, I can see why he's pushing back on it, but it's cinema. And the other time, the networks don't have any problems airing anything like that. But I guess with this particular election season, they didn't want to show any of that, depicting him in that way, and so they didn't want to air it. But that movie is coming out in all theaters supposedly on October the 11th. I'm not going to check it. I'll probably watch it bootleg. Is
that going to be the October surprise this year? You know, every election season in October, there's a major thing that happens that shifts everything. Is it the Apprentice coming out? Like, we all watched The Apprentice. We all know what it was in the story, but behind the scenes, like, you know, is that the surprise we're waiting on?
Like Kevin Garnett said 17 years ago, anything is possible. I'm not gonna say it like here because my voice might cry.
And then also,
who
not just TMZ this week, but once again, you did the dance party with Gracie Gray. So, what was how did it feel to have that? And what's it like having DJ Gracie Grace as your team member? You know, I mean, you guys have been doing the hype dance party for a couple years now, and it's a great synergy. So, how's that relationship go?
It's going well. I met her with another DJ coalition, and so I just saw the potential she had in the connection that she has with artists, with her being from DC. She travels all over the world and do shows and meet so many people. So I felt like that she would be a great asset for the Hype magazine, especially the DJ Dance Party, to come on to bring her experience and her expertise on having our guests, and also just talking about things that's related to our culture as far as being a DJ, the dance music, hip hop. And so it's great to work with her. Yesterday we were just talking about just some of the things that we have encountered being a DJ. What do we fear when we DJ and stuff? Just trying to just drop some little nuggets and insight on that. PBE Pluto was supposed to come on, but he was performing with Jacquees. We got the Gulf Coast Challenge going on down here in Mobile, Alabama. So he was away for that. And so he's going to be on our show next week. So we're going to definitely have him on to talk about what he has going on with Boss Man D-Lo. And he has his own tour that's going on too. So
he was with Gorgeous George when they came through Indianapolis and stuff like that. So he's got a good I want to highlight what we're talking about. That I want to highlight Grassroots Music Conference. They were just in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shout out to Just J, M80, Chill for bringing that to the city. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I had a family event come up, but from everybody I heard, they got so much free game. They made so many new relationships, and it's really put Indianapolis on a platform using Maverick Global Distribution to really feel like a major label in the city. So salute to them and Highball for bringing that to our city.
Yes. Yeah, y'all been popping real hard this year. You know, you had the All-Star weekend and the ciphers and the grassroots seminar that come through there. So y'all.
Well, I don't know if you're
doing
into wrestling or not, but they just made WWE just made Indianapolis like the official hub. We get Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. So I mean, even if you're not into wrestling, that's over 10 million people coming, you know, consistently. And then of course we got Caitlin Clark and Tyrese Halliburton. Like we're everybody's loving it. So yeah, it's a great time to be in Indianapolis. And we got some really dope artists, of course, on Hype in the Streets. I plan to bring some of my friends through as well to showcase the city. But we got some really dope artists putting on right now, making fire music. And DJ Manny Faces, don't get mad for me. I'm gonna let them know we're working on the Colts anthem. Shh, don't tell nobody. But we got a major plug in the situation, and they gave us the opportunity to make the anthem. So God willing, you'll hear us in the stadium soon.
Yes, indeed. And so now we got to talk about this man here, Diddy, man. Like,
yeah,
if you don't know what's going on, you got to be hiding under a rock or something. Diddy, a huge mogul. He's been part of our hip hop culture. Yeah. Shoot, it's been over 30 years now. Whew, that's a long time. And so now you have all of this building up on him, these allegations of the freak offs and the sex trafficking, the racketeering. What is your thoughts about this? This has been 30 years of Diddy in our lives, man, as terms hip hop. Like, he has helped a lot of people, and I'm sure he has hurt a lot of people too, allegedly in this process. So what is your thoughts about this?
Yeah, it's hard, man, because, you know, we definitely grew up with Diddy. He gave Stop Beef from Radio one of our earliest shout outs when we were at the Core DJ retreat. Shout out to Tony Neal and them. So Diddy has definitely supported a lot of people. But unfortunately, as me and you, Tee Recx, talked about in this industry, what goes on in nighttime, there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on. So I'm not saying whether he did it or not, but if it's true, and, you know, there's a lot of people that's been blowing the whistles over the years that now that he's been locked up, there's a lot of stuff starting to come to the forefront that are starting to make it look more and more true. I don't know if it's the freak offs that's really going to get him. I think it's dealing with the minors, if that's what it was, or trafficking. I mean, your sexual preferences are your sexual preferences. So that shouldn't be what gets him. But, you know, if he's dealing with kids or any of that other type of stuff. I've seen today, though, they said he's got a power attorney with him right now that just beat like 3 Supreme Court cases. So today they're rumoring that everything, TJ Collin from TNZ was talking about it, that it's starting to look a little bit better than what we anticipated last week. So, yeah, definitely, you know, we've supported Diddy for a long time. He's meant a lot to the culture and helped a lot of people. But if he was doing that type of stuff, there's no way to save him. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that, though?
Well, I feel bad either way because it's gonna be a cloud over his whole legacy. Yep. Like, you're gonna question everything. Like, everything he has ever done, you can question what was your motive behind it.
Yeah.
Why did you do this? You had the power to change the world almost as far as regarding hip hop. But why would you go down that dark path? And I would say this, like, Hollywood, music, just the industry, even business, corporate America, like, this stuff does happen. This stuff happens. It's just not in the music industry. It's paying your dues. If you want to go to that next level, or you want to go in that room, that your talent, or not saying your talent, just something that can't get you in the room, so you got to do these devious acts or whatever. This type of stuff does exist, and
that's the scary
for quite
thing.
Some time.
That's the scary thing, Tee Recx, to me on this is all these things have been rumors for years. It's kind of like R. Kelly. We all knew, we just didn't want to believe it. So for Diddy, there's been rumors for a very long time that if you went to go get a deal with them, you wake up the next morning and you're under obligation because of stuff that took place. So, and what I'm scared of really is if the rumors of Tupac and Biggie come to be true. Like if that ends up being factual, I think that destroys his legacy even more, because we love Tupac and Biggie. He basically became a major star after Biggie died through that. So imagine it comes true, the allegations that we've all had rumors for. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's funny that Eminem just did a song on his new album right before all this happened, where he said, I spelled rapper and left out the P. He didn't leave out the P, did he? So like there was somebody, they must have knew it was coming. So how long has people in the industry knew that this was about to happen? And what's next? Because the rumors are he's not the first. They said they got even bigger people going to go down with this situation. So, it's scary times for people.
Oh, they talk about naming names, like the bystanders, like the people that was there and actually knew that it was going on. They planning on dropping names real soon, and that's going to be like a proverbial nuclear bomb on hip hop.
One thing that's interesting to me about when this the Diddy situation happened is Justin Bieber all of a sudden started trending again, and people started going back through the archives of all these clips that have been out there for years, like Lonely, one of his biggest songs. People are replaying this song now and they hear it differently. Like, oh, you were lonely because so what's your thoughts on that? Like the victims that are now getting to finally get their piece, the Cassies, the Justin Biebers, all these people that have been holding this back all these years because they had to sign an NDA or something like that. How do you feel about them finally maybe getting to tell their truth, or maybe getting the people giving them compassion for what they've been through?
I don't think it's going to take away the pain and the suffering from that happening if it did happen. We did see the instance with Cassie getting dragged down the hallway and stuff. So just the pain and the suffering of it, that probably won't go away, but maybe that would be some kind of comfort as far as what would be brought to him as far as the charges and the jail time and stuff. But it's going to take time for them to heal, if they ever heal. And I hope and I pray that they do heal from this, because that is terrible if all that stuff did happen and you have victims that's suffering and you hear it in the music. Like you were saying, people are going back, listening to Justin Bieber's music and listen to his interviews that he did with Apple Music like 4 years ago, when we were just scared of our lives about the pandemic. That interview has resurfaced and you kind of watch it differently now, just the way he was responding to the questions and just the emotions. So all the victims that was part of this, I hope that they will be able to heal from this, because that's terrible, man. That's terrible if all of that did happen to them. And, I know we can't judge because we don't know. We just going based off what's been reported to us. I know we got a million sources out here saying, oh, yeah, he did it. We got this list and everything. We don't know. But justice will be served. If he did do it, it will be served. And I just hope that the people that was victimized from it can find some kind of comfort and peace from it. That's my take.
Yeah, I definitely pray for all the people around this, even us as humans or civilians watching this. Like, you're watching your heroes fall, and they're gonna keep falling right now. Like everybody we've held up in the people we used to dream of becoming. Like I used to be a big Donald Trump fan. Like I got a series called Thinking Like a Billionaire because of his when your heroes change or things get different, you got to deal with that a little bit. But yeah, I'm praying that a lot of people just get through this, because it's a really tough time. Like we've talked about at the beginning, the hurricanes have happened. We've got the stuff going on in the Middle East, very spooky times right now. Luckily, I believe in God and Jesus, so I know I'm safe right now. But right now it's starting to look like really scary with what's going on right now, Iran and Israel and, Lebanon. So what's your thoughts on that before we get out of here? Like, how can we as people who are in media, people who try and uplift people. How can we bring a positive vibe to everything when everywhere you look right now is nothing but negativity, negativity, and negativity?
Our society thrives on 2 C's.
Yeah.
And when I say the 2 C's, I mean competition and clown culture.
Ooh, okay. I was gonna say couch and clap. Yeah.
Like we gotta stop that. Like our neighbor is not always trying to compete with us. And then 2, to be seen, we don't have to be in a clown mentality. Meaning that we don't always have to be trying to entertain people or do things out of the ordinary to draw attention. If we can drop that competition spirit and that clown mentality that has been pushed on our society for centuries, we got to come together. Like, we all supposed to be unique. We all supposed to embrace that. We can't be we can't have 1,000 Jay-Z's or 1,000 Kanye West's or 1,000 Tigers or Travis Scott. It can only be one. And so if we all can just tap into our uniqueness, and love yourself. You got to love yourself in order to love others. I think we can change a lot of this narrative, man. But when you step outside, you feel like you're in competition with somebody, and you some people walk these streets with that mentality, and some just be oblivious to it. Like, I'm not in competition with anybody. I try to be unique. I be straight up and genuine, because at the end of the day, I got to lay down. I got to get up and look in the mirror at myself, and I want to see myself. I don't want to see somebody that I'm trying to portray to be or put on that mask. If we all can just self-check ourselves and know that, hey, I got something to bring to the table. I have no reason to hate on my brother or sister. I want to collaborate. Let's make money together.
The funny thing to me is Zig Ziglar had a famous quote: if you want to be successful in life, help other people become successful. Like, I know a lot of people are like, why is Money Man on this screen right now? Who is he and what? I am here because I helped a lot of people. And every time I helped somebody else, they elevated me. Like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. I like being behind the scenes. But what I found out is God wants me to help people tell their story. Work for it. Like, I never asked people for anything. I've never, wanted anything. I just wanted to help other people win. But in life, if you help other people win, then God will elevate you to another plateau. So now we have hype in the streets, and we're gonna change the whole industry, because there's a lot of podcasts out there. I'll tell you that. But there's not gonna be podcasts that has the perspective that me and Tee Recx have, because we've been in the game 20 years. We both started podcasts before there were podcasts even popular, and we're Christians. We have a moral compass behind us, and we do want to see people win. So the guests we're going to bring on the show, the people we highlight, there's no malintentions with it. There's nothing we're looking to get from any of these people, but let them tell their story. We brought Sammie on today to show a dope voice, and hopefully all of you will go check out the Misunderstood. You'll go find energy, because when you find a dope artist with a talent like that, it's our job to help people find out about that. And I know we're coming to the end, but we got to talk about this pork strike. You were telling me some news before we came on, man. What's going on with the pork strike? The pork strike? Are we going to have groceries in the stores this weekend? What's that inside information you got me?
Well, there's been a tentative deal reached to where they would going to hold off going on strike until January the 15th. So basically, they going to negotiate higher wages, and people are actually going to start returning tomorrow. So if you bought all that toilet tissue, you can return it. Walmart is going to accept it. I'm just kidding about the toilet paper. But the thing about this, man, what blows my mind, like the media has so much mind control over people, just reporting that story saying, okay, we're going to have 40,000 pork workers go on strike on October the 1st. People running out of the house buying all this stuff, man, all the toilet paper and stuff, like they're not going to negotiate.
not to put a tinfoil hat on or be a conspiracy theorist, but what if that was the ploy in the first place? You know, like Black Friday sales is the ploy to get you to run to the store to buy the item that's been there all the time. And they actually marked up the price so they could give you a discount, but you paid more than you would have the week before. So could it have been they knew they needed to get some revenue streams coming into the United States right now because people weren't buying the stuff. So you scare people into thinking you won't have toilet paper the next day. Now Walmart don't have toilet paper on shelves. Now they can increase the price again. And if you know anything about how this port system works, like they were rumoring it was going to be $5 billion a day if they did not go back to work. So did you really think they weren't going to get them back to work?
You and I both know that they was going to negotiate way before it got that bad. I'll tell you one thing, just to segue, I know we wrapping this up.
Are we good? Keep going.
I remember watching a movie when I was a kid, and you probably remember this movie. It's called They Live.
Yeah.
It started Roddy Piper.
Yep.
And I really didn't understand it at the time.
Yeah.
But I just noticed the different things. Like he had those sunglasses, he put those glasses on, and he take them off. He saw different like subliminal messages or whatever. Is how the media is ran. It ran with fear. A for-profit media uses fear to make you do anything they want you to do.
Yeah.
Fear. That's all they have to do. They come out with some kind of fear story that's going to get you shook up to keep you from moving sometime or make you go out there and spend all your money. It just depends on how they bring it and present it to you. It's all about presentation. You got to.
Well, you heard the story about Ringling Barnum Bailey Circus. I think it was in the 48 Laws of Power. They gave the story of how they would, when they went to a new city and they were starting out, they would put bricks everywhere they walked, and people would watch them say, well, why are you laying these bricks here? Well, let's follow to see where these bricks are going to end up. And then come to find out it led to the circus. Like it's all a spectacle, like hype. How you perceive everything is so true. And we are living in a day and age where you don't know what's true and what's false. You can do the research, but you got to just look. Like there's a lot of information out there. You can look at Fox News, you can watch CNN, you can watch MSNBC. You're going to see different stories. But if you're a smart, intelligent person, you know what part makes sense and what seems like it's fake. So you got to be able to use your discernment to get through that type of stuff.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Money Back, I want to say thank you for being part of the hype in the streets, man. We definitely have kicked this off. This is our new season. So, thank you for coming on board. You have any closing remarks?
Yeah, man, I just want to thank everybody. Like I said, I was looking today, Throwback Thursday, Boss Talk Nation. Shout out to Jay Gibson, Willie Dynamite, Trill Biz, Just Jay, Manny Mad Dog. Before I was doing Instagram Lives, before I was doing any of this stuff in front of the camera, I was behind the camera helping with that. And we had some really dope things. And I want to highlight that because I'm nothing without my family and my friends that put me here. St. James, Mike Trees, rest in peace. Anybody who's helped stop me from radio for these last 20 years. And we're excited because it's a new energy. Like I said, with me and Tee Recx, we're trying to get deals with liquor companies now. We're trying to, and it's not for us, but if I pull this off, I'm sending it to every DJ. Shout out to the Fleet DJs. Like we have an entire organization of DJs out here breaking records. And, it feels good to have a platform. We're going to bring Court Digger on. And if you have a guest you would like us to bring on, hit us on Tee Rex's Instagram, hit me up on Instagram or hit the Hype Magazine Instagram. We're open to feedback. I'm looking forward to eventually we can make this an interactive situation where you can, comment and we'll drop you a link and jump on the show live. But any feedback or any last comments you want to say, T?
I just want to say thank you again for being on the show. Definitely shout out to the team. And, I always got to end it with this closing remark. You always tell your loved ones you love them today because tomorrow is never promised. I always love God and love people. We will be back with more hype in the streets. I'm your host, Tee Recx, along with Money Matt. Like you said, if you want to reach out to us, hit us up in the DM, contact the hype or anybody that's on our team. And I hope everybody has a great night. And Matt, thank you again, man. We did it.
Yeah. We did it, man. Congratulations, fam.
Yes. So y'all have a good night, y'all. Y'all catch us again next Thursday, same channel, same time. Peace.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Because I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Because I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out to Hype Magazine Network